My name is Dagmar Palmerova. I am not a public person, but know publicly I am de facto a green card criminal and a dangerous person who is suspected of terrorism and therefore has been kept under the 24/7 public residential surveillance since 2010. Apart from stealing, sexual offences, fraud, betraying and other serious offences against the Ten Commandments, I supposedly committed espionage acts against the United States of America. That is sort of laughable for me, as I have never been there and I did not enter into any agreement with any government, company, criminal organization or independent operation to collect information for them. It would have to be called personal espionage in the interest of the international public. If the militaries of the world act against humanity and want to keep it hidden from the public, you can hardly call the revelation of it espionage, and that applies to the case of Mr. Julian Assange as well as mine. I have been accused of trying to get illegal access to the US government's Defense Department's website, which technically speaking could probably be correct. I just did not have any idea that searching the publicly accessible internet for the scientific information about the behavioral phenomenon of contrails in the atmosphere could represent jeopardy to the security of the United States of America. Nor I worried that such an article was from the Defense Department. I was and still am deeply convinced that really secret information would not be accessible by the public at all. My blind and obviously stupid try to guess a password to get to a particular article just confirms how knowledgeable I was in the domain of wireless internet at the time. But I was concerned with what I discovered in the field of geoengineering, because I was thinking in terms of esoteric science, which stated that we have no means yet to analyze accurately the complete composition of the air we breathe, and all its active particles, yet unknown to us, could be greatly affected by our experiments and cause unprecedented difficulties for humanity. That was my line of thinking, but no one wanted to listen to me. Even the esoteric colleagues were not concerned with that. My position on radiations, chemotherapies, antibiotics, vaccinations and genetic engineering is well known. Again, that originates from my life experiences and from my esoteric teachers, who consider them as representing the biggest and most imminent danger to humanity. And their knowledge proved to be correct and far superior to our orthodox science, so I would rather put my faith in God and his natural remedies, proven to be safe by thousands of years of human survival. My intimate life has been imprinted into so many films, porno films, photographs, literature, art, videos, media of all kinds, and even scientific studies, that I do not want to touch it anymore. Nothing can be done about it, and however deeply I apologize to all who got hurt by my Pandora box opening, only time will heal everything. If I look at the international statistics of staphylococci that I unwittingly pass to others, you will see that its mortality is far, far lower than the mortality from the common influenza. If I contracted other infections from ticks or by force while being made unconscious, I could not pass them, or because I have lived alone by them. So pandemics of shame only hurt or even exploit innocent people and expose the young generation to incredibly harmful impressions. I have been explaining that impressions are our most important food, yet the young generations have been fed endlessly with the worst moments of my life offers, and the pandemics have served other agendas that can't come to light. Is not 13 years enough to bring my life to bring me to light and face all that I will have to face one day anyway? This secrecy is so dangerous, like hidden cancer. Anyone can say anything, no possibility of clarifying the manipulation with the facts. It breeds hatred, sexual sadism and psychopathy in the masses. People have lost even the most common sense. They do not understand that the electronic hunt of humans is inhuman. By giving them the technological means for it and even making it the source of financial or sadistic gains and social fame, they got the impression that there is nothing wrong with it. Well, I do not know how many men and women are exposed to such games around the world, but I do know the suffering they have to endure. And trust me on that, even with the virtual reality option, none of you have the slightest idea what it really means to be in such a state, and what despair you experience when you see the scientists laughing and making jokes about it on the national channels to the amusement of the international audience. And when the Russian president can't watch it anymore and wants to protect the targeted people and his country from such policies spreading, that laughing international audience condemns him as the cruelest dictator of the 21st century. That does not make sense to me, because I know that he knows that we are all under the heaven's eyes, and his US equals know it as well. So where is the fine line between the black theater game and bestial reality? This is a spiritual vibrational war between conscious and unconscious. It has so many layers, including the esoteric, that very few people really understand the complexity of the whole situation and the roles of different people in it. It is utterly illegal to perform public and scientific experiments without consent. And none of the universities that provide simultaneously experiments on people have ever bothered to ask for them. The animals have plenty of rights, targeted people have none. The psychological, physiological, psychic and sexual cruelty that is performed on so many people by both private and public sectors around the world is never going to create the soul. It can perhaps get us from one wormhole into the other, but I'm not interested in the horizontal line of the future and the past. I distance from it. I trust my creator on the vertical line. The only time something can be done on the vertical line is not in the future, nor in the past, as militaries think. No, it is in the present. The case of Mr. Assange is very serious. I asked the United States to end their extradition claims on him many times, but it had no effects whatsoever, either for him or for the already mega elephants behind. I wanted to face my accusers because he has done nothing wrong, only acted in accordance with his conscience as a publisher and a new way thinker in writing and speech, in the public interest. And the US authorities know it. So who and what prevents the presidents of the United States from ending the deepest disgrace of their constitutional history? Dear Mr. President, if you can't forgive the nothing to forgive, how can you expect to be forgiven for the unforgivable?